Good morning. Good morning. So what kind of characters did you guys end up doodling yesterday after our little session? I saw a few posted, but I bet there were other ones that you guys are too shy to share. Remember, the quote from yesterday was, "Art is too important to not share." So, whenever you feel comfortable, feel free to share your doodles with all of us. So it looks like some people drew Mike from Monsters Inc. There's Princess Peach. Just wait a couple more minutes here and see who else shows up. You still have time to grab a tea if you don't have it. Toad is super cute from Mario. And how's the music volume today? Can you still hear me pretty clearly? Cool. Awesome. So maybe just a couple of announcements before we get started. If you haven't read the post or haven't seen it, our live stream time is going to change next week. So right now it's at 10. Next week we're going to try 3 p.m. so kind of after school time, because I have to start teaching online or planning. That should be interesting. So hopefully you can all still join me. I think you're all supposed to stay home anyway, so you should be able to join me. Okay, so for today's warm-up, I thought I would give you the challenge to draw as many different kinds of fruits as you can on one piece of paper. And I've done this with my classes before, but this time, if you've done it already, you can still practice, because every time you practice, you get a little bit better. This time when you're drawing them, I don't want you to draw them one by one. I want you to draw some of them bigger, some of them smaller. I want you to draw them overlapping. Okay, so I will draw here as well, but you feel free to draw your fruit wherever you want, and if you think of other fruit that I haven't thought of, put those in before you forget them. This is just me doodling along with you. Our little warm-up is drawing fruit, as many as you can, for about 5 minutes. Start with an apple. Apple. I'm gonna draw a slice of watermelon. And these are all just pencil drawings, but later on you can color them in if you like. I'll add some cherries. Cherries. And let's see, strawberries. And yeah, kiwi. Let's see, I'll draw one kiwi that's whole and one kiwi that's cut. This will be the cut one. And kiwis are kind of furry, so you can draw little short lines. And they have like a white center. Kind of looks like that with some seeds. And put a whole one behind. And then this whole thing is just going to be furry because it's a whole kiwi. Tomato. Ooh, pineapple. Okay. Start with my basic shape. And there's a couple ways I draw pineapple, but this is probably the easier way. Cross. Put little dots in between each square for the spiky part. And then ooh, grapes. Thanks for your help, guys. Bunch of grapes. Maybe like that. A little stem. And I think they have little curly vine branches like that. And ooh, pears. You're gonna end up with more fruit than me. I think the record from my classes was someone drew 30 different kinds of fruit in the 10 minutes I gave them. Pear, cucumber. There were also debates about whether tomatoes and cucumbers were fruit. So I just said whatever your description or your definition of fruit is fine with me. Okay, cucumber. Draw lines. Okay, dragon fruit. I'm gonna start with a basic shape for this one. It's kind of like that. And then there's little things like so. Dragon fruit. If you're just joining us now, we're just warming up by thinking of however many different types of fruit we can and doodling them on one page. Kind of like that. I think that looks like a dragon fruit. Right. Orange. I'm gonna draw a slice of orange. running out of space, but that's okay. Draw a small banana behind here. And what else? Raspberry. So raspberries have a bunch of little circles. Maybe I'll draw two, or one can be a blackberry. You won't know till you color it. And what else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. There are way more fruit than that. Well, there's limes and lemons. So this can be a lime. It will be colored green. And then a slightly bigger one, kind of the same shape, can be a lemon. Pomegranate. It's a nice circle shape as well, with a little knobby thing at the top. Okay, so, blueberry. Let's end with blueberries. I like blueberries. So blueberries, little circles, and then they have a little kind of star-shaped opening at the top where the stem was. Or I guess that would be like the bottom part of it. Okay, so that's just a quick exercise. If you give your give yourself a time constraint and try to think of as many things as possible, it really gets your imagination going and your brain going. And then you're just doodling and not worrying about erasing things and stuff like that. Okay, so the inside of a pomegranate. Okay, last request. Let's see if I remember without looking. I think it's like something like this. There's like a center part. And then there's like a bunch of seeds. Something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. I guess I never really thought about drawing the inside of a pomegranate. Okay, so for today's doodle along, I thought we would draw some stringed instruments. And then I also want you to try to combine them with the figures that we were drawing before. So we're going to start with a few different types of guitars. And then, and then 2 different types of ukuleles, and we'll end with a banjo. So for a guitar, just a simple acoustic guitar, you have like a peanut-shaped body. So if you want to think about basic shapes, kind of like an oval and another oval that's a little bit overlapping, with the bottom part being a little bit bigger. Okay, and then just gonna darken the outside of it. So that's like the body of the guitar. And guitars have a sound hole, roughly around here-ish. Not right in the middle, but kind of up there. Okay. And And also there's this part here where the strings connect. And then there's the neck of the guitar, which is a rectangle shape. Like so. You can erase that line now or later. I'll do it now so you can see clearly. The thing. Okay. So you have the neck of the guitar, you have the sound hole, this little part here, and then you have the head, which you can do as another small rectangle. And guitars have 6 strings, so they will need 6 pegs. So 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I usually like to draw these little holes in the head there. I think it depends on the guitar. Some of them might not have it. Okay, and then you just have to draw the lines. So when I'm drawing lines without a ruler, I try to just move my hand directly across kind of quickly and lightly, so that if I get it wrong I can just erase and try again. But here we go, there's 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of. And it's a doodle, so no worries if it's a little bit off and you have to fix it. Okay, so that's a regular acoustic guitar. You can try to draw someone playing it. So let's try to draw a quick person here. So basic shape of a person. If he was playing guitar, he'd probably be holding it about here. So this is the guitar. And that's the neck of the guitar. And one arm might go like that. And again, if your first guitar is bad, that's totally fine. It takes practice, right? Okay, so this hand is on top of the guitar, this hand comes under, and the hand is here. And for the body, let's say he's crossing his leg maybe. Give him a stool to sit on. Okay, and then you can add the other details in, fill it in a bit. He's kind of bald. Let's give him spiky hair. Okay, I did that kind of fast, but hopefully you get the basic idea and can start playing around with people and also instruments. Okay, another thing a guitar might have is like a pick guard. I think sometimes they're down here, sometimes they're over here. So if you have a guitar, you can just look at your guitar and try to draw the little embellishments that you have. Okay, and another type of guitar is like an electric guitar. So let's see. You can start with kind of the same basic shape, but then we're gonna change it a little bit because electric guitars have kind of this little doohickey here, some different angles. Maybe call them horns, but it still has that curve. And then it still has a neck, which is still a rectangle. And a headpiece. You can make yours as fancy as you want. I'm just doing a simple one. And they still have 6 strings. And I think most of them are usually on the same side for an electric guitar. Those are like tuning pegs. Oh, the other thing is you might want frets. So frets are just the horizontal lines. So we'll draw those in here too. Okay, and I think they have a white piece that kind of is the center part. Follows the outside shape of the guitar a little bit. And then there's some knobby thingies. I don't play an electric, so I don't really know that much about the little knobby things, but there they are. And maybe some other little parts here. So instead of a sound hole, it has these little bits. And then you can draw your strings. Something else you can do with this kind of guitar is some of them usually, or some of them can have like a little cutout part. So if your guitar is a different shape, you can change it. Okay. How's everyone doing so far? So we're gonna move on to a ukulele, which is close to my heart. I played ukulele since I was in grade 6. And the ukulele is a really similar shape to the guitar. It has the same kind of body shape, but it has 4 strings instead of 6 strings. So we'll start the same way. We'll start with the basic shapes. So the top part of the uke, bottom part of the uke, and sound hole is kind of here. And I'll go a little bit slower for you guys. And remember, you can always look back on the recording afterwards if you need to remember something I said. Okay, so ukulele is a smaller peanut shape. And it's totally fine if you think yours is terrible right now. As long as you practice, you will get better each time. Okay, that's the sound hole. It also has a neck. A little bit shorter than the guitar though. And it also has a headpiece, and instead of 6 pegs, it's just 4 pegs. And then the strings. And if you want to give it a little bit of a 3D look, you can add kind of like the side of it, if yours is a little bit on the side. And here too. Okay, so again, just as a review, start with the basic shapes. So I start with a circle and a slightly bigger circle overlapping. I drew the neck, which was a rectangular shape. Okay, and that happened the same way for the guitar up here. Okay. Should I draw one more ukulele or guitar, or are you good? Can I move on? So I'll introduce you to the other type of ukulele, which is a Canadian invention actually. It's the triangular uke. So instead of a round body this time, we're going to start with a triangle. Triangle. Triangle uke. Okay, so this is the body this time. It's a triangular shape, and instead of one big sound hole, it has 3 sound holes that are smaller. So kind of in the same spot. There's 3 small holes. These are the sound holes for a triangular uke. And it still has the bridge part here. And it still has a neck. And the head is kind of triangular as well. The neck's kind of crooked on mine. That's okay. And again, 4 strings, so 4 pegs. And 4. So that's a triangular uke. That's like the traditional uke shape. last instrument for today is a banjo. So banjos are pretty cool. They have a round body. So we're going to start with just one circle. And again, it's okay if you have a lot of sketchy lines because you're just doodling, sketching. Okay, so a banjo is round. It still has the neck, which is a long rectangle. It still has frets, which are these lines. Okay, and let's draw an inner circle. And I think they have, at least from the picture I saw, this little piece that holds the strings. Okay, and then the head. You can make the head a little bit fancy if you give it a little dip in the side, but you don't have to. Someone said to draw Dino and Panda and Lammy playing a guitar. Maybe I'll do that in a bit. If you don't know, Dino, Panda, and Lammy are my characters that I draw all the time. So I'll introduce you to them later today after I finish the banjo here. So banjos have 5 strings. So there's, I think, 4 tuning pegs here. There's a little knobby here for a 5th, I think. And they might be different on different banjos. I'm not too sure. I've always wanted to play a banjo, but I haven't gotten to it yet. 4, 5. You can add little designs to your banjo if you like. Okay, how did everyone do with those instruments? A bass. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a picture of a bass. Bass guitar. So a bass guitar can look similar to this one from the Google search that I just did. So I see people say their drawings are super bad and not good right now. That's totally fine to be like that at the beginning, but let's have a growth mindset and see what things you can do better to draw better guitars and better ukes. Basically, think of the basic shapes. Practice. Okay? So let's draw a couple people holding the instruments so you can kind of see different examples of how to do something like that. So let's draw someone playing the ukulele maybe. So I'll start with the head. And just someone standing maybe. So a standing person. And ukulele would be kind of this small. So basic shapes. And elbow out. And then arm in with the hand. This hand's probably down here and then holding do you guys kind of see how I did that? I kind of did it quickly, but I'll go over it again. So head, the body shape of the person, legs, because I wanted him to be standing. And then I drew the ukulele shape with two basic shapes here. I drew kind of where the neck was gonna be, so I know where I should draw my hands. And then there's that part of the arm. The elbow goes outwards and then the arm comes back in, so the hand can touch the strings here. And then the other elbow points down and then goes back up because the hand has to be holding the neck. Okay, and then once you have the basic shapes, you can try to draw it a little bit clearer. So I'll draw the hand. I'll still keep it a circle for now. And keep that hand like that. Four strings. Give the person a neck maybe. Like so. And then the shirt here. Some pants. So about here is where the knee would be. So I'm going to draw the top part of the legs a little bit thicker, the thighs, and then a little bit thinner at the bottom. And feet are just going to be little circle oval shapes with a flat bottom, just for a quick doodle. And some ears, eyes. I'll give this one curly hair. So, if you remember from the tree episode, this is kind of the same technique as for the leaves, little circles. Okay, and again, it's going to take practice. You should not expect yourself to be super good right away. I don't expect you to. And whenever I'm drawing something difficult, I don't expect my drawings to be super good right away either. Okay, it's just important to have a growth mindset and think about ways that you can improve on what you've drawn, so that each drawing you do gets a little bit better. That's how you improve. Okay, so let's draw another person playing the banjo, and then we'll try to draw some animal people, animal-ish characters holding instruments, just in case you're interested in doing that. So let's start with the person again, the body, and let's make this person standing also. Oop. So this person kind of has this shorter body, but that's okay. Okay, and then the basic shape of the banjo is a circle, so circle. I think they all face the same way. If not, you can just flip it. Okay, and then again, elbow out and then back in. Elbow down and then up so that the hand can hold the neck. And then you can start darkening some of the lines. So this one looks like it's kind of facing that way a little bit. Let's give this person shorts. So his knees are here. Shorts. And then for the leg, draw a straight line. And then on the inner side you can draw a rounder line so you can see the calf. And then he still has to wear shoes or socks. And let's pretend he's super into his song. So his eyes are closed, his eyebrows are like that, and he is like, ooh. Oh, shirt. And ears. And what kind of hair? Let's give him, I don't know, like a combed over look with a part. You can play around with hairstyles, or you can base them off your favorite musicians. Oh yeah, I forgot to add strings because my drawing's a little bit small, but you can totally just add a hint of string. Okay, and it kind of looks like these two are a duo. That's kind of cool. So as you're doodling, you might find stories and character ideas pop up. Make sure you make notes of those so you don't forget, because you never know when you'll become a comic book artist or a storyteller or whatever. It's good to keep a record of your ideas. Okay, so last thing for today is I want to try to doodle some animal characters holding the instruments, just in case you want to play around with that. So for animal characters, let's start with my panda. So you have the basic shape of the head, and most of the basic shapes for animals and people are heads. So here's the circle and the body. And because animals, especially my cartoon animals, are shorter, you might have to adjust the size of the instruments. So here's Panda's legs. They're small ovals. And I'll draw her playing an electric guitar maybe. She's never done that before. So let's see, the basic shape of the electric guitar was something like that. But it had kind of like a horn shape and a horn shape. And then there's the neck. Okay, and Panda's arms are pretty short and nubby, so I think she's gonna be reaching over and barely touching. And then this one, you just see her paw holding the neck here. Okay, and then there were the knobby thingies, and this thing to hold the strings. And there were some other electronic parts here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and pandas have ears. So for a panda, the ears are black, the arms are black, and the legs are black. And I draw a triangle for the nose. And for the eyes, I do a big kind of egg shape. And then inside that, I draw a smaller egg shape. And color that in. So, same thing. And my panda's a girl, so I usually give her 3 eyelashes. Okay. And let's see, there's some space up here. And I'll draw my dinosaur. I'll introduce you to Dino. He is Panda's best friend and Lammy's best friend. So start with the basic shape of the head. And the body is a smaller circle again. Remember I said I like to draw big heads and small bodies because it's super cute. And Dino has a tail, which is like a rectangle. And because Dino's arms are pretty short, I'm gonna give him a ukulele to play. So let's draw a ukulele. Basic shape, circle, bigger circle, and that neck. And his little arm's gonna hold that side. His other little arm will come up over the body. So here's the ukulele. Sound hole. And again, these are just quick doodles. It's okay if they look not super refined, because that's not their purpose. The purpose of doodling is just to have fun, get your ideas out, try things out, practice. Okay, and then there's the body. And for the legs, they're just little feet under his body shape there. And then he has spikes, so at the top of his head I start drawing little half circles, and they go all the way down to the tip of his tail. And for my dino's eyes, I just draw them like this, and I give him little expressive eyebrows, and he's usually smiling because Dino's always happy. Okay. And then the last one, last but not least, is my little Lammy. Little Lammy can play a banjo, I guess. Let's draw him with Panda. So, basic shape. Circle for a head. And I draw his body even smaller because he's smaller in size than Panda and Dino. He has little feet too, so he's really similar. The basic shapes are really similar to Panda. And he just has extra circles for the ears though. Okay. And banjo shape, it's just a circle. And there's the neck. And so one hand again on top, one hand or paw holding the neck. It's just a circle. There's the head of the banjo with the pegs, and there's a peg here. Okay, and for my Lammy, if you draw another circle kind of at the bottom of the ear, that's kind of the inside of his ear there. Okay, And then for his face shape, I draw another little line with a dip for his face. And his eyes are similar to Dino's eyes. And his nose is like a Y shape. And at his feet he has hoofs, so I just put another line and I shade in the bottom part. There we go. So that's Dino playing a ukulele, Panda playing an electric guitar, Lammy playing a banjo. There's this duo here. There's this dude here. And there are all the stringed instruments we drew today. Hopefully that helped a little bit. I know it's really challenging to start with, but if you make the choice to practice, you will get better each time. Okay? So I think that's all for today, but I want to leave you with a challenge. I would like you to draw some people or some animal characters playing these instruments. And if you have other instruments that I didn't cover today, you can always look them up and try to think about what basic shapes they are. Are they close to the ones we've drawn today? Like the bass is similar to this shape, maybe. Or maybe see how they're different. And see if you can draw those other instruments that I didn't cover. Okay? Awesome. And again, if you want to color them, that will be great too. I'd love to see them all. Hopefully you had a good week with me today. Today's Friday, so we won't have a live stream tomorrow or Sunday. But remember, on Monday we'll start again, but the time will change to 3 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. So until then, hope you keep doodling, stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Have a good weekend.